Welcome to PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today once again by Anthony Bongiorno. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm happy to be having this episode, and it feels somehow overdue. But it was your idea, not mine, and people would assume it's my idea.
Yeah, it was my idea, and I think it's something that we've alluded to many times, but we've never devoted an episode to, so it's about time.
So we're going to talk about Ghostbusters Answer the Call, which is its actual name.
Question for you, right out the gate. I watched it today.
Yeah.
The title card at the beginning just says Ghostbusters, but I
end
noticed
says
that at
Answer
the
the
end
Call.
it says Answer the Call. Was that added after, or was that in the theatrical release?
That was in the theatrical release, but...
so it's like a hint at a subtitle, sort of?
Yeah. Fans now call it Answer the Call.
Which is a bad subtitle.
Well, I think it was... The reason why it's not like in the beginning is I think it's just there for like the Library of Congress. Like I think it's just there to differentiate it. But people still just call it Ghostbusters 2016 or something more
Or the
horrible.
lady. Yeah, the lady Ghostbusters.
But like now you'll see like fans be like, what's better, Answer the Call or Afterlife? I went to a screening of the original Ghostbusters at Alamo, and you think this is Ghostbuster fans, and they showed something of the 2016 one. People like made a negative reaction to it, and I think I don't want to be in the fandom with you if this is the way you feel.
This movie, it's so weird.
It's almost I almost want to say like this movie's not good or important enough for you to have these feelings.
I know.
It's good, but it's like not any hill that anyone should die on.
It's so weird, and I often think now that we're like 6 years out, like, was it a product of its time? Was it because it was in 2016 alongside the election? And I mean, Paul Feig himself seemed to attribute its its hatred to like the rise of Donald Trump at the time.
It is hated.
Like the vitriol from people that you would think are normal people,
right?
Like simply because they are women, Ghostbusters, right? That's it,
right.
And I love that they nod to it in the movie when they're reading the comments. And it's like, ain't no bitches, busting no ghosts.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, does that come... Did they film that after?
I think so.
Because when the trailer for Ghostbusters 2016 hit YouTube, it became the most downvoted thing in YouTube history.
It's just like... It's one of those things that like reminds you that like misogyny is the water we swim in.
I know. But you know what? I almost don't want to spend too much time on that because I actually just want to talk about the film and its merits and think of it as a film.
Can we do a discussion though of it versus Afterlife?
Of course. Okay. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I have some interesting data.
Okay. Absolutely. So Ghostbusters 2016 was directed by Paul Feig, written by Paul Feig and Katie Dippold. She also wrote The Heat, which is a good Paul Feig movie.
She's great.
When I saw this in 2016, I was very excited about it because I'm a Ghostbusters fan, and I liked it when I saw it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought some of the jokes didn't land, and so I never was a hater of it. But I just went back and watched it like a month or so ago with Jen. And we were both like, wow, this is way funnier than we remember it being.
Yeah, it is.
I think one of the things, again, if we could move aside from like obvious misogyny, one of the things that I think turns people off maybe or fans off is it's a very different tone from the original. Like the original has silly comedy in it. Like if you look at Rick Moranis' character, he's very silly, right? But this has a more contemporary, like we're improvising kind of Anchorman type of thing. Like compare the scenes in both the original and the 2016 of them being kicked out of academia. In the original, it's like a snooty dean who's like, you are terrible scientists, and kicks them out.
Yeah.
In the 2016 one, It's fucking that.
It's like DeVry University.
Yeah, and he's giving him the bird.
He's
and
like, suck it.
Yeah, he's like, I have 2 words for you. It's gonna be suck it. And it's like that's more silly on a different level. You feel like there's a lot of improv going on.
Yeah, the closest thing to the Rick Moranis character, I guess, is like the Hemsworth character is so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that today as I was rewatching, because I haven't watched it from beginning to end until today, since I first saw it. And I remember when I first saw it, really liking it, but going into it because there was such backlash against it, like wanting to love it.
Yeah.
Because I also love a lot of Paul Feig's other movies, and then feeling like, okay, I was a little bit disappointed, but mostly I liked it.
Yeah.
But then watching it today, I genuinely had the thought, like, if there were no Ghostbusters already, this would be a fantastic, celebrated movie.
Well, because it's funny enough, and you would be dazzled by the special effects and all that stuff.
The actresses are great. It's funny enough, like you said. And it does what I respect about it. And I know you said before that this is the wrong podcast if you're sick of nostalgia, but I'm somebody who right now I'm going through a phase where I'm just like very turned off by like nostalgia porn. I like that the 2016 Ghostbusters like nods to the original, but does a lot of its own thing.
Well, it's so different from Afterlife in that way.
Yes.
And in some ways, it has more DNA in common with the original because it's a comedy.
Yes.
Whereas Afterlife is not a comedy. It's like a kid's movie.
Afterlife, it's one of those weird things
There's
where
few
like
jokes in Afterlife.
The further away I get from the 2016 Ghostbusters, almost like the more I like it. And I feel like the further in time I get away from Afterlife, the more I look back on it like, that was weird. That was just a Stranger Things type of ripoff, bending over and blowing itself of the original.
I like Afterlife, but you cannot ignore that it's a little dull.
And it's also like, it just makes, I thought Afterlife was great, but it makes a lot of fucking weird choices. Like,
yeah, sure.
The fact that it's not, I mean, people got mad at Ghostbusters 2016 because it was set in New York, but filmed largely in Boston, and you could feel that it's not really New York. Fucking Afterlife is not at all in New York.
Right.
Afterlife is a children's movie
it's a rural,
in a rural setting. It's so weird. I don't know. I mean, it's a good movie, but I almost feel like I'd rather watch at this point in time. I feel like I'd rather watch the 2016 Ghostbusters.
And I've heard other Ghostbusters fans say that. Because there are other fans. We're not the only 2 people that like it. There are other smart fans out there that like it. Recently, they put out a Blu-ray set called The Ultimate Ghostbusters, which I refused to buy because it didn't have 2016 in it. And
I hate the erasure of it.
Yes, how dare you call it Ultimate? There are 4 fucking movies. Put all 4 in there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't even mind if you hate it, but why are we like when Afterlife came out, you would think that Ghostbusters 2016 never happened. Right. It's like they acted like, and what annoys me about that is I take issue with all the original cast members who were in the 2016 Ghostbusters who then came back for Afterlife and were pretending like the 2016 Ghostbusters didn't exist.
Right.
Because like it had their stamp of approval. Right, they were in it too.
Right, and Dan Aykroyd produced it.
Yeah.
It was produced by Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely does have their stamp of approval.
Since we're talking about it, I just wanted to pull up. You want to hear some interesting stats?
Yes.
Ghostbusters 2016 on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh 73%, audience score 49%. Afterlife not certified fresh 63%. So it actually got worse reviews, but 94% audience score.
And I don't want to say something incorrect, but I think 2016 may have made more money.
I'm not sure.
I mean, you could also say pandemic and all sorts of those changes.
Yeah, true, yeah.
But it in no way was like a failure.
It was better reviewed.
And it never got the sequel that I think it deserved because I think a sequel would have been tighter. Because they could have just kind of done whatever they wanted with a sequel.
Yes.
Whereas this is, it's almost like, there was a time where we were doing a lot of reboots and now we're doing a lot of Lego sequels. And it almost was like in the wrong spot because it's a reboot when people wanted a Lego sequel.
Yeah.
Right? Because it comes after like The Force Awakens.
And it does not acknowledge in universe the other Ghostbusters.
And one of the ways I think it may have screwed people or people felt screwed was for some reason, I know why, but the original teaser trailer made it sound like it was in the universe of the other Ghostbusters film.
How?
It says like 20-something years ago, 4 scientists saved the world. Now it's time for... And they show the firehouse.
Well, I think in the original versions of the screenplay, it was in universe. But then later on, Paul Feig decided to divorce it from the universe.
I don't know if this is true, but I have a theory. My theory is that they wanted Bill Murray to be a cameo, but he said, okay, but I won't play Peter Venkman.
And how dare he come back for Afterlife as Peter Venkman after all he put everyone through for 30 years?
So I think that decision made them go, okay.
He can't be in this not Peter Venkman.
Right.
But we'd rather have him in it than not in it.
Right. So then we'll make it not in that world.
Yeah. And then, what's his name?
Then all of them have to go by the same rule. Like, they're not going to have...
Dan Aykroyd is a cab driver.
Right, they're not going to make him be Ray if Bill Murray's in it as something else.
Which is also great when Dan Aykroyd is the cab driver. He says, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and he drives away. I mean, it's got enough nods to the original.
Yeah, yeah.
And even Sigourney Weaver's in it, Annie Potts. It's crazy because then, like, 4 years later, they're all back in Afterlife.
And Sigourney Weaver in both of these films is relegated to post-credit scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, as a Ghostbusters fan, though, there is some cool stuff in this that's not at all in the original movie that it's like, I like seeing this. I like seeing them test the proton pack and seeing, like, it fail at first and, like, how they fix it. I also like, and this is something I only just noticed, in 2016, when the proton beam lassos you, it will go around your chest to look like the symbol.
Yes.
I also like in this movie when Cordry paints the... What's his name? Nate Cordry?
Nate Cordry.
Is the graffiti artist who makes the symbol, because as much as the symbol's iconic, in the original film, there's no... It's just there. No one talks about where it comes from or what it is.
And then the big bad at the end is that ghost.
Yes, I like that a lot.
And I also like that a dab will do you with stuff. Like, I think that Afterlife went way overboard with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and it almost didn't make sense.
You mean with Gozer?
No, I mean with the Stay Puft, with like the little Stay Puffs.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, because it makes no sense.
It makes no sense in the universe for that to happen.
Right.
But I like that in the 2016 one, it was just a balloon, and then it popped, and that was it.
Right. Exactly. It was enough.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And I just found myself liking it so much more than before. Like, I like the look of 2016. Like, I like that the slime is like neon green, and I like the way that the CGI looks. I like the way that the ghostly balloons look, and like when it looks like old New York. Like, I really like that.
You know what else I really liked that I forgot was really well written until I watched it again today? The friendship between Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, and I was like, I was Ghost Girl, and I got bullied for believing in ghosts, and she's the only one who believed me. And then at the end, when she saves her, and she's like, I wasn't going to leave you again.
Their relationship,
and then we're all Ghost Girls.
Yeah.
And I love the appreciation that they have for ghosts. Like when they first see the ghost, Melissa McCarthy's like, I think you're gorgeous. I think you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like almost like seeing an animal or something. Like they seem to like really be into ghosts more than the original Ghostbusters were.
In the original Ghostbusters, they go into business, but in this, they are always scientists, and she says this is a scientific research group.
Yeah.
And it's not until the media starts calling them Ghostbusters that they become the Ghostbusters. You never see anything about them charging anybody for anything. It's all science. No, I completely agree. Well, there's no talk in the original film as to any of why the 3 original Ghostbusters before Winston is hired, of why they care.
And why they're into ghosts.
Right, but there's the great like little monologue in 2016 where Erin is like, the mean old lady next door died, and I'd see her staring at me at the foot of my bed, and that happened for a year.
And it was like childhood trauma.
It's generally a scary story in the movie, and it also goes, that's why she's interested in this.
Right, and Abby was the only girl in school who ever believed her.
Right, and it almost, I mean, this is putting a lot on it, but it almost is like a rape metaphor.
Yeah.
It's like like I'm the only one who believes you, and she gets kicked out of the university. She gets kicked out of Columbia University for believing in ghosts. They don't give her a tenure, and they fire her because how could you be a real scientist and believe in ghosts? And
that's a funny, but it's also like done well. Like it's such a funny cutaway when she's like, ghosts are real, and then it just cuts to her in the office and it's on YouTube, and he's like, who is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
Just moving offices. I wasn't fired.
Yeah.
Paul Feig, I feel like gave them room to like. Kristen Wiig is doing what Kristen Wiig does best.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon's doing what she does best. And that's another thing. Leslie Jones is really funny, but Leslie Jones, for a whole other reason, people hate. I mean, just for racist reasons, people hate Leslie Jones.
No,
and like bullied her off of social media.
No, she's great. I love when the ghost is on her shoulder. She's like, I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah. You know what? I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go home.
And then the person has the selfie stick and takes a selfie with her and the ghost, and she's like, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's so. There are so many scenes where I was like, wow, this is really funny.
Yeah. Or when the mannequin is behind her and she's like, don't. And then the mannequin starts running and she's like, no.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's going to Queens.
Oh, that's so funny. He's the third scariest thing on that train. Yeah. I actually made a list of, where is it? I have a list of jokes that work, jokes that don't work, and threads that go nowhere.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the word on the street is that the original screenplay was like meteor, and Sony kind of like wanted to kind of water down everything to make it something that kids could like.
Yeah, that's what Paul Feig says.
Yeah. So
there's also, did you ever watch the uncut version?
No.
There's like a whole boyfriend character that Kristen Wiig has.
That's smart that they get rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's I guess before I get to my list, you just reminded me something that's also very different is like you've got a Ray archetype and you've got a Winston archetype and an Egon archetype, but you don't have a Peter archetype. Like Erin, Kristen Wiig's character is nothing like Peter Vaker.
No, she's really more like an Egon.
Right, but yeah, exactly. But
then Kate McKinnon's almost like the cartoon Egon.
Yeah, she looks like the cartoon Egon.
Yeah, stylistically. Yeah.
But so that's a difference too. Like, there's no like brash, boorish, like overt, like leader.
Right.
There's no leader in their team, really.
No, they are much more of a team.
It's more egalitarian.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's some things that, and I didn't write down every joke that works, but jokes that are like big swings that I think actually like pay off. Jokes that work at the beginning when he's talking about how he pooped his pants. He's like, I didn't poop my pants. He's like, you said my pants are toast. That's really funny. Don't ever compare me to the Jaws mayor.
Oh, that's the best line.
Yeah. Also, then the security guards come and he goes, that took way too long.
Yeah. Don't be like the mayor from Jaws, please.
Yeah. Don't you ever compare me to the Jaws mayor.
Cecily Strong is great too.
Yes. When they go to the firehouse and they're like, yeah, and the rent is $21,000 a month. She goes, oh, burn in hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's her reaction.
I think in the original version she goes, fuck yourself.
Patty being chased by the mannequin's really funny.
Nope, room full of nightmares.
When the human villain Rowan kills himself, I forget who says it, but someone goes, that's a weird move.
Yeah.
At the end, when they like come out of the void and they're like, what year is it? And she's like, it's 2040. We have a president who's a plant.
Yeah. Just kidding. You're gone for like 2 seconds.
Like, there's real funny shit in it.
I want to talk about why their hair turns white.
I don't know. I don't
know why.
Yeah, I don't know why
Was
either.
it supposed to show them aging?
I do. I keep. Yeah, I found myself going, is there something deeper here that I could read?
Me too. Like,
or is it just
a gag?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it supposed to signify like they are changed now?
Maybe.
I feel like there's got to be something to it.
I mean,
it's weird.
She does something braver than any Ghostbuster does in any other Ghostbuster movie. She jumps into like a void to save someone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think it's good that they took out the romance for Kristen Wiig, because really the relationship needs to be just
Erin and Abby.
Her and Abby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of the Hemsworth stuff works. Is really funny.
I think some of it doesn't though. Some of it's like 1990s sitcom.
He's just
so dumb.
Yeah, but I love
like
Kristen
covering his eyes when something's loud.
Yeah,
like that's too much.
But Kristen Wiig, like all that stuff is funny. It's like, you're hired.
Oh, well, that to me feels like a good reversal of how lecherous Bill Murray is towards Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Like that she's constantly like basically sexually harassing Chris Hemsworth.
And I love when what's her name, Melissa McCarthy is like, Kevin, you think he's good looking?
Yeah,
like it's just so funny.
Oh, I love that's another funny scene when he's like, I came up with logo ideas, and he has the 7-Eleven logo, and like I think we used that.
Did you think
your work is more cerebral than I thought it would have been?
Did you think that Abby was queer coded?
That's so interesting.
This time around, I kind of thought she was.
I think
Kate McKinnon is.
Kate McKinnon, yeah, a Holtzman she's very much like flirting with Erin at points.
Yeah.
But no, well, I could see it now you say it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But also, it seems like romance is not something any of them care about.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I like that there's not a romance like there was between Peter and Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. No, it you don't need that at all.
Can I also say I like also that they didn't have to have the same exact score. Like Afterlife feels like it has to have the same score.
Afterlife having the same score, I found.
Like, it's great to hear it, but it's like, do you need it?
Yeah, no, it's weird because they also take it from like a sort of comedy, goofy score and like Spielberg it up and make it like this deep thing.
Yeah,
it's a very weird. You know and I said this on my Afterlife episode. They only play the Ghostbusters song once, as if that's classy to do that. But I like how in 2016 they play it. I don't know if you know this. The soundtrack to 2016 is all versions of the song.
Yes.
Like he felt like we'll fail if we just do one version. Everyone will hate it. So how about I get a million different people to do their own? And there's remixes of it. There's a Japanese version of it. Mm-hmm. And in the movie, you hear 2 or 3 different versions of it. And I thought that was a very smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well, do you want to hear my list of things that don't work?
Yeah. I have one.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that they put in the trailers doesn't work. Like the wig or the hat bit.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that funny.
No, it doesn't work. The running gag about soup with her and soup, that does not work. The fart prank when she's like, she's like, we have a recording of a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, it takes too long.
Yeah.
The Dean, I have 2 words for you, suck it. A lot of the Kevin stuff. I like some of the Kevin stuff, like when he spits out the coffee and he's like, yeah, that's coffee.
Yeah, that's
like, I hate coffee. But like some of it's just too far.
Like when he takes the glass out of his glasses because it kept getting dirty.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne screaming Sharon in 2016.
Yeah, yikes.
I mean, that's 14 years after that joke was relevant. Abby's head spinning around like The Exorcist. That's just so.
Although
it's so rote.
It is
cliche.
And also when she slaps her and she says that's going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are we going to have that joke from Tommy Boy repeated?
Yeah.
But I actually this time around thought that scene was funny. Like, not the head spinning part, but the scene was funny.
The whole scene is funny.
The devil is a liar. Like, I thought that was really funny. Actually,
no, I agree with you.
Which one you launched about the window?
Yeah.
That was funny too.
I like the Chinese restaurant setting as their. I almost think they shouldn't even have the scene where they go and look at the firehouse and then.
I like that it's a bait and switch though. That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that line where she's like, "Oh, burn in hell" is funny, but I feel like just doing something different. Just go ahead and be different. Like, it's weird to me at the end they end up there because it's like, this isn't a prequel, so why do you feel you have to end up in the firehouse?
Right.
Just do it or don't do it, and I'm fine with you not doing it.
Yeah. I guess it's so iconic.
I guess, yeah. I also don't like when Rowan like possesses all the cops and soldiers.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's a little corny.
Yeah, a lot of that times that big set piece at the end, I feel like is needed work.
But I gotta say,
like I'm still confused. That's like what was going on where like it became like an older version of New York. I don't know. It seemed like a touch too much or something.
It was the ley lines. Like he was trying to like. He was like opening up a portal.
Yes, but like, why did it become Times Square in the 40s?
I don't know, because that's older. I don't know. It's a ghost time.
Weird. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't love that.
But I have to say,
but the action is good.
Yeah, for fans who are like, oh, I like action. Like, there's so much more action in this than there is in like Afterlife. There's like nothing in Afterlife.
Well, Afterlife has a cool like chase.
Yeah,
with the sidecar.
Like Kate McKinnon, like. With all her shit, like when she like takes out the 2 guns, like if that were a guy, that would be like on YouTube all the time. Yeah, like that's really cool. I actually like all of the stuff, like the what do you call it, the ghost chipper, and like the thing where you punch the ghost. Like
that's really cool.
All of the toys and shit in it. The ghost like grenade,
and then at the end there's like a bear trap.
Yeah. I liked all of that stuff. That stuff was all a lot of fun. Yeah, and I like the action. I like when they get to like do Ghostbustering things, like they take that not serious, but they treat that as like adventure.
Yeah.
I like that the human villain Rowan is basically like an incel.
Yeah.
And he's like very
What does she
sexist.
say? She's like, it's always the quiet ones or something.
Yeah, something like
She
that.
says something like that when she sees his picture.
Yeah.
Because he is like an incel.
And he says misogynistic things.
Yeah.
And he thinks like I'm important, but no one sees it.
It's almost like it was making meta commentary on the fanboys who hated it. And maybe that's part of what made them hate it even more. Is it's like, you don't respect us as fans. You're making fun of us in the text.
But I thought that more people would have been angry at the new Scream movie for making the killers toxic. But it seems like it got away with it. People like that movie. Like, I thought that would have had a backlash. I mean, they literally say in that movie, Rian Johnson directed the Last Stab movie and ruined it, and that's why we're killing people. I mean, it's such a direct reference to, like, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But they got away with it. I just have another theory. This is a little bit... I don't know how to put this. This might be somewhat crass as a theory.
Women are funny.
No. I think some of the really straight broy dudes in the audience were upset that Bill Murray's character was a very kind of fey character.
I was thinking that too.
Like he says
the hat was his mother's.
It's my mother's hat. He's got a walking stick. He's very like a dandy. I think that hurt them somewhere deep. Look, like this is their hero, and look at him. He's being quote unquote like gay,
emasculated, almost. Yeah, we both know some very toxic bros who are very into Ghostbusters who were very upset. By that. And felt betrayed by Bill Murray, right? As if he owed them something.
Like if Bill Murray were a different kind of character, I think people would have liked that. I think people really hated that it's such a different character from Venkman.
Yeah.
My problem,
and he's kind of like a villain.
Yeah. Well, my problem with that is it's a dropped thread. Like that guy should have been like the Walter Peck.
Yeah, he should have been mentioned earlier too.
He just dies really soon,
and he's not mentioned before he shows up, right?
You see him on like one news show.
Oh, right.
But still, it's not. It's a thread that should have been. He shouldn't have died.
I feel like maybe he even should have been like that character could have been like the person who fired her from Columbia or something.
It could have been way more. It feels like. If he's just going to be a cameo, don't give him this whole scene. But don't set him up and then kill him.
Yeah.
Well, I have another list. I have a list of threads that I feel go nowhere.
Okay.
My list is not very long. There's Bill Murray's character. Then there's also the ghost jumpers. In the very beginning, they show like a bullshit like A&E ghost hunter show.
Oh yes.
And she's like, these are the people that it's because of these people no one believes in us. And I thought, okay, this is clever because you're gonna have them intersect. Like they're gonna while they're busting ghosts, these people are gonna come in shooting their show. It's gonna
that would have been good.
And it never went anywhere. I guess it was just a momentary joke.
Because she says, "Who are they gonna call?"
And then you hear ghost jumpers. But yeah, I just felt like, oh, this is gonna be a clever thread in it.
Yeah, that would have been a clever thread.
Yeah.
It almost, this is such a weird reference. I don't know why I thought of it. It almost reminds me of like, remember in the second Blair Witch movie when it was like there was those competing Blair Witch tour groups?
Right.
I don't know where that came from, but
deep. That's a deep cut. One of the biggest, I think, bummers in the movie is that the non-scientist is an African-American person again. And for a movie that's so progressively minded, it makes me think...
I was thinking that. It's like the three white women are the intelligent ones.
Yeah.
And they're the scientists, and they're smart. And then you have the one black character is like... I'm not smart like you guys, but I know I got street smarts. And it's like, we did this in the original back in the 80s.
Like, why couldn't one of the scientists be black?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the Patty character...
Yeah, it's another thing that I think just shows how much we've progressed just in 6 years. Like, I think if they were to make that today, that wouldn't be the case. I don't think.
Do you think this movie would have been better received if it were like a split group? Like if it weren't 4 females, if it were like 2 females and 2 males.
Yeah, because I think in a way Afterlife is almost like that, and that was pretty well received. Right? Because I mean, arguably the protagonist of Afterlife is a little girl.
Right.
So yeah, I think the fact that it was 4 women.
Right.
And
it's the director of Bridesmaids, which made a lot of money, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, are women funny?" As if like
I know, it's so ridiculous. Anytime there's a movie with women that does well at the box office, they're like, can women make great movies? Or I mean, and Paul Feig's a man, but you know what I mean? Like, can women star? Can women run movies do well? And it's like, how many times are we gonna have this stupid conversation?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. My thing is, I've always been mad that I think Mindy Kaling didn't get her due because she's the one who thought of the idea.
Oh, she
and
did?
It was sort of taken from her. Well, there's no direct proof of that, but I can tell you that in her book that she wrote and published in like 2012, she said, I want there to be a female Ghostbusters movie where it's 4 women. One of them will be me. One of them will be Melissa McCarthy.
Wow.
And then she even name drops Melissa McCarthy. I think she cast 2 other women. And then she was like, and it'll be great. And then it ended up happening with Melissa McCarthy.
Wow.
And I feel like if Mindy Kaling had been one of the writers, it would have been better.
Well, you've reminded me, did you see the trailer for the Velma show?
No, I did not.
Out? It's very interesting. She's the voice of Velma. She's also like the creator of the show. It's a cartoon. But Velma is Indian, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Velma has
Is it live
darker
action?
skin now. No, it's a cartoon.
Okay.
So Velma looks like Velma. She has like the same glasses and clothes, but she has darker skin.
But she's like Indian American.
And she's voiced by
Mindy Kaling.
Voiced by Mindy Kaling. But in the trailer, she's being toxic because she sees on the news that they're rebooting the Jetsons, but they're making Judy Jetson black, and she's like, why are they changing things? So it's like this meta commentary.
Uh-huh.
It's really interesting.
That's funny.
I think
Are the other
smart.
characters in it?
No, I don't think so. I think she's smart going into it knowing people are going to hate it. So why don't I make it in mind if people are going to fucking hate it?
So is Scooby-Doo in it?
No, I think it's just Velma.
Is she solving mysteries?
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
In the trailer, like she gets like killed, but I don't think she gets killed in the show.
Okay. Because in my head, I'm like, what's Velma without any of the other characters? Isn't that just Daria?
It looks like spooky mystery kind of thing.
Okay, that's fun. I wonder if it's like an alternate universe where those other characters don't exist, or this is
she'll probably like meet them in it or something.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
It's interesting. Maybe like that's what she did with her Ghostbusters idea, because it seems like she's,
Yeah. What I will say is that I think that the movie could have been better. I don't know if it's the writing, the directing, the whatever. I just think it had the potential to be better than it is.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting because I think a lot of people were rooting for it to fail, and then I feel like just as many people were rooting for it to be amazing, and it kind of fell just like a regular movie, And it's hard Paul Feig has said it's hard when a movie is carrying all these expectations before it's even released.
Right.
So he was like, of course, it divided people and didn't do well because people were like arguing about it before it ever opened.
And his next movie was like a thriller. It wasn't even a comedy.
Yeah, it was a simple plan.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing of the first Ghostbusters movie was it was a grown-up comedy, but it just happened to take off with children. Like, kids really liked it. Because I guess the grown-up humor went over their heads and they liked the Ghostbusting part. And then they made a cartoon. Mm-hmm. And of course, that was for kids. So, when they made Ghostbusters 2, they no longer smoked. There's a lot less cursing, a lot less sexuality. It's still like the first one, but you could see it's very tamed down for kids.
Yeah.
And there's even like meta references to like Ghostbusters show in a cartoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's Bobby Brown who does a song on a soundtrack, plays like a doorman, and at one point he says to Egon, he opens the door for Egon, he goes, "Hey, can I get one of those proton packs for my little brother?" Egon goes, "Proton pack is not a toy," which it was a toy.
Oh, that's funny.
But so then I think what happened with the Paul Feig movie is I think if they had said this is a grown-up comedy and it could do grown-up comedy things, it would be better. But I think you had Sony going, no, this has to be a movie that both grown-ups and kids like. Because then what happens is Afterlife is just a kids movie, really. I mean, grown-ups can like it, but it's the characters are kids.
Yeah, it's Afterlife almost defies genre.
It's when you really think it's the fact that it is in the continuity of the original movies and has the original Ghostbusters in it, and
yet is so different.
Yeah, everything else about it is different. Its feel is different. Its world is different. I mean, it's a kids movie. Like, it makes me wonder, like, if 2016 hadn't happened, would people hate on this?
Probably.
Because, I mean, you think, like, okay, people hated the Ghostbusters movie with 4 female Ghostbusters. What's our next move? How about a child female Ghostbuster? And you think, like, that wouldn't work. But I think people just like, oh, God, you're going to have Egon in it. You're going to have Bill Murray in it.
I'd also like to point out that to go back to the misogyny of it all.
Sure.
A lot of neckbeardy dorks used it not being in universe as why they didn't like it. But if you remember, they were all in favor of the never produced Chris Pratt reboot, which was also not going to be in the same universe, but it was going to be 4 guys, and they were like, let's do that now.
Right.
So it was misogyny.
Right.
You know, like, we can't call it what it's not.
Well,
I think that thing of it like, oh, it's just too different, it was an excuse.
It's the thing. I agree with you. And there is, of course, a minority of people that will...
And God, would that movie have been bad? Like a Ghostbusters reboot with Chris Pratt.
It would have been... It would have been
horrible.
Well, what they would have done is they would have went way into the action, and it would have been an action movie with some comedy.
Yeah.
It would have been like 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people out there who genuinely don't like Ghostbusters 2016 because they don't like the story or they don't think it's funny. And those people resent being lumped in with misogynists.
Right. And they're not the most strident ones.
Right. But I do agree with you that there are some misogynists that say that that's not the reason. It's like...
Who hated it before they saw it.
Right. Well, it's like the people who hate The Last Jedi who are like, what I hate about it is that Luke wouldn't act that way. And it's like, no, what you hate about it is that you don't like the way Rian Johnson presents himself. You don't like that Princess Leia flies. You don't like that it's different from the other Star Wars. But the thing you're holding on to is it's somehow wrong in continuity. It breaks continuity because Luke wouldn't act that way.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's not the perfect metaphor, but people will, they'll be like the mainstream reason why.
Well, I mean,
I almost have more respect for people who are like, I don't like females, so fuck the female Ghostbusters. At least you're telling me the truth.
Well, it's like those neckbeards who are like, Rey is a Mary Sue, and like from minute 1 didn't like Rey,
right?
From Force Awakens,
right?
And it's like, well, that's because she's a woman.
Right.
I mean,
right. Like
the whole concept of her being a Mary Sue is just like the most sexist fucking thing,
right? Because this is like, these movies are so far into fantasy,
right? And Luke is a nothing character.
Yeah,
Luke doesn't get a personality until Return of the Jedi.
He's an audience avatar.
Yeah.
And he's good at it. I'm not saying the actor is bad.
No,
but he's an audience avatar.
He's so thinly written.
He's not a character, I think. You said Return of the Jedi, maybe, but I think he becomes really the best performances in The Last Jedi.
Is in The Last Jedi,
because he's this dejected, old kind of failure.
Which he so becomes like Obi-Wan. Like, it makes so much sense when you really think about it.
Right.
He's like an old man in hiding.
Right, and he's like, he's full of regrets and failure. It's like, that's so much smart. You wanted to catch up with him like 40 years later, and I don't know, we're talking about this again. We got to stop. But getting back to Ghostbusters 2016, I
would have liked a little bit more clarity about, and maybe this is actually for Ghostbusters in general as a franchise.
Yeah.
I said this on our witches episode when I said, what is a witch? Like, if you watch enough Ghostbusters in a row, you'll be like, what is a ghost?
Right.
What is a dragon thing? Is that a ghost of a person?
Right.
What is this?
Are they really demon busters?
I don't get it, because sometimes they appear to be like people. Other times they are like Slimer.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they?
Right.
Do they kill people? Because that's one line that really took me out of the narrative in 2016 when she's like, these ghosts kill people. I was like, are the ghosts there to kill people? I've never thought of that.
Right. Like, can they kill people?
I guess in the movie they kill Bill Murray.
Right.
So I guess the ghosts...
But I'm thinking in the whole world, like in the original Ghostbusters, I guess they can.
I guess they can, but it's like that. I never got the feeling that was their intention, was to kill people.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, that goes to the whole series, which is like both the 2016 film and the original film. The first ghost you see is very humanoid. Like the library ghost and the ghost in the mansion are both like these female sort of floating ghosts that look humanoid.
And they're dressed like in Victorian garb.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you have like Slimer, who's like, are you a human that becomes deformed because of the way you lived your life or something? Or do we just
very
call
Dickensian.
them... Yeah, or do we just call them ghosts, but what we really mean is demons?
Yeah.
Are they demon busters, truly?
Well, that's the thing. That was another thing that maybe it wasn't a dropped thread, but I feel like it wasn't explored enough, was with the landlines where... Like
the ley lines.
Ley lines. I liked that, like, Leslie Jones's character was like sort of an encyclopedia of New York City history.
Yeah, I did like that.
And I thought it was cool how she was like, well, that makes sense because that building had like crazy stuff happen there.
Yeah.
It almost gave me like Shining vibes.
Yeah,
like there
yeah.
are some places that are just haunted.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they really went far enough with that.
Right.
And then it was cool when in the subway was where an old jail used to be, and then the ghost was wearing the old jail.
Yes.
You know, uniform
And it was
or whatever.
like an electric
chair
kind of thing,
and an
which
electric
happens in Ghostbusters
apparatus.
2 as well. Yeah.
But so like I feel like that could have been was like a new element that I feel like could have been explored more and pushed.
I agree.
I thought it was cool when they saw it when they mapped it out and they were like, look, it's like across these ley lines, like it's like these, what they say, they're like supernatural highways,
right,
or something.
Well, something that I think was always not good in every single Ghostbusters movie is they make it like ghosts aren't just a natural phenomenon, but there is something happening that's making them happen. Like in the first one, it's Gozer. Like the reason more ghosts are, the business is good is because the Gozer being there is making more ghosts happen.
Yeah.
In part 2, it's the slime.
In this, it's the machine.
In this, it's the machines and Rowan doing it.
Yeah.
It's better
like,
to just have there are ghosts in the world. And
well, it's like they always say like, oh, they're amplifying or they're connecting us to the spirit world or whatever.
Right. Even in Ghostbusters 2, they say like we went out of business after 1 because there were just less ghosts.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
What's that thing? Is it in 1 when he's like the Titanic just arrived and you see like
2.
That's in 2. That's a cool.
And those are people, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing
And what about the taxi driver in 1? That's like a ghost taxi driver.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? How does it drive a car? Like,
right.
I have questions.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's a cool gag.
Yeah. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
There's always the thing that I've always thought about is the moral implications of imprisoning ghosts. Like, but in 2016, there is no containment unit. They trap one ghost and it gets out and kills Bill Murray. And they're not trying to go into business. It's not until the very end that you see a containment unit.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, it's very different.
Yeah.
Also, it seems like in 2016, their whole goal is to prove ghosts exist to the world.
Yes.
And that's not what the goal is for the original. The original is the going into business movie.
Yes. And there's like that, remember, I know we talked about this before, like that interesting reading of the first Ghostbusters as being like a response to like rising crime in New York City in the 80s and like migrants coming into the city and stuff. This is not like that. And if we go with your point from before that it's really about like paying attention to women,
right,
believing women, and believing their stories, their goal is we want people to believe us and stop saying that we're crazy and dumb.
Right. She gets totally like loses her job and her livelihood. Like in the beginning, she's like in this weird denial because she wrote a book with Abby about ghosts and then moved on and tried to go into more like mainstream science and is like tries to hide that she ever wrote that book. And she's like kind of like ashamed of it and tries to hide it off the internet, and like someone comes to her with the book and she's like, no, that's not me. And he's like, well, you look a lot like the woman in the about the author photo. And she's like, oh, it was just a joke. And he's like, well, the first sentence says this is not a joke. So yeah, it is different in that way. Something I think that's very clever that I like about, again, this kind of fits in that believe or not thing. The relationship between the Ghostbusters and the mayor's office is so different in both films. In the original film, they like have to prove that it's true, and then the mayor, and then finally when things get crazy, the mayor, who could I guess represent like all of law and order, believes them, and then they go and they save the day. But in this one, the whole time the mayor's like, oh yeah, we know ghosts exist.
They use them.
And we're thankful to you. Like, keep doing it. But we have to publicly say that you're frauds.
Right.
And we're going to fake arrest you now.
Yeah.
And you can never say that we told you this, and we can never...
to tie back into this whole thing of like believe women and like women being, maligned for telling their stories or being intelligent or whatever. Like, when Cecily Strong was talking to the press, she's like, it's just more antics from these very sad women.
Yeah. And she's such an interesting character because she's like the mouthpiece of them, and it's not until the very like end scene that you see her sitting with them, and she's like, it's out. She's like, well, they keep going with the story of a mass hallucination, but no one's buying it. So now the world knows who you are. Yeah, and like you get the idea that like she almost never wanted to. Hide them. Yeah. And then there's that, I think, nice scene at the end where like they go up on the roof and you see people are like, thank you, Ghostbusters.
I heart Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because it's a clever reversal of it. You know, it's clever that they're like, oh yeah, ghosts are real.
Yeah.
And you've got the two Homeland Security agents. One of them is what's his from?
I think he's Mike from Veep, but
yeah.
Matt Walsh, I think his name is.
Yeah,
or something.
and I like when Holtzman's like touching him.
Yeah.
Stop. He's like,
is it one or two?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
What is
two,
He's
isn't
like,
it?
How many people think? What was it? How many think? Oh, I forget what it was that he asked. It's 1, 2.
It's two, isn't it? And then she just like pats him.
Yeah. But I do like that. See,
I love when I also thought it was really funny when she was dancing, and Kristen Wiig was like, "Okay, have fun, be safe though," because she's dancing with the flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Like, there's funny stuff in it.
They have,
I hate to debarge in.
Yeah, that's the barge.
I thought it was Devo. Anyway.
Yeah. They have good chemistry.
Yeah.
The four of them together, I think, are a good team. I do. They did comics with them, but I do wish they had another movie. And you know, Jason Reitman has said like, I would love another movie, but it's like you say that like you're just a fan, but you have a say in this. Like
right.
You making Afterlife, because the idea of Afterlife came about during the production of 2016.
Really, I didn't know that.
So they knew, like, while they were like editing 2016, that the next thing they were going to do was Afterlife.
So it was like a contingency plan almost.
Well, I don't think they knew 2016 was going to fail, but like they were doing 2016 because that was their way of continuing the brand. But then he, I guess, gave them a better offer, something that they were like, "Ooh, this will be better for us." So it's almost like they never had a chance, like, because they always knew really our next move is this movie Afterlife,
which is so crazy because they set up a sequel.
Yeah. And it would have. I would have loved to see. I really wish.
And now it'll never happen. Now.
I know, and I like Jason Reitman, but there is a lot of bullshit in his game because, like, you know, whenever he's asked about 2016, he graciously never says anything bad about it, and he gets into this like very progressive thing of like, I think that there could be any kind of Ghostbusters. I want to see Native American Ghostbusters and Asian Ghostbusters, and
right.
I think we can have 1 million of these movies. And it's like, okay, in practice, I mean, in theory, that's a very nice thing you're saying.
But what are you doing to make that happen?
But what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're not doing much in that. And I feel like if Jason Reitman wanted, let's say he wanted to direct a sequel to 2016, that could have happened. His father's the producer and director of the original movie, right? It's total nepotism, right? He any idea I think he could have made as a Ghostbusters book.
Yeah.
So it's so weird for him to be like, you know, I'd love to see one. It's like, okay, then make one. How about that?
Yeah.
Or like bring them in somehow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do a fucking Marvel multiverse and be like let them be in it.
You know, it makes me think, like, there's this thing with, maybe it's 90s kids or 80s kids or whatever, where it's like, I almost feel like the idea of a Ghostbusters 3 is like this white whale that they've been chasing forever. And 2016 wasn't really a Ghostbusters 3. Afterlife isn't really a Ghostbusters 3.
Very much not.
And
Very
it's like,
much not.
I think it's just this generation of fans just has a hard time swallowing that there will never be a Ghostbusters 3.
I could extend that to Star Wars too. There's never going to be a Star Wars film where Han, Leia, and Luke are doing an adventure together.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So I don't know if that's part of the weirdness toward new things and new ideas. Because I'm sure, in fairness, there are just as many fans that didn't like Afterlife too.
Sure, I know. I won't call anybody out, but I know like fans who are like big in the fan community that don't really like Afterlife.
Yeah. And probably for the same like weird reasons of like it's too different or whatever.
Right.
Which it is, and I guess I can respect that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like,
you know, if Afterlife,
what do they want? Like, they want just Ghostbusters 3 a straight. It's the four of them,
I guess. Yeah, that's what they want.
I mean, but it's never going to happen. First one of them's dead, and it's just, you know, it's just not going to happen.
And also, it would not be good.
No,
it's not going to happen.
Well, the original isn't the reason
people don't
why
like 2. I mean, I like 2, but a lot of people don't like 2.
Well, isn't the reason why Bill Murray never wanted to do it was because like all the ideas for 3 were always bad?
Yeah, the reason he didn't want to do it, he had during Groundhog's Day falling out with Harold Ramis.
Oh, really?
That's the reason.
Were they speaking when he died?
Yes, they reconciled when he died. He actually, like, while he was on his deathbed, going on Afterlife, like, sometimes I wonder, like, if the original Ghostbusters didn't show up in the end, like, still had to be in their world, like there are Ghostbusters, but they don't show up at the end. Could that have let there be better? Could that have led to a better ending? Could the whole package somehow be better if it doesn't have that? Because after the first time you see it, I feel like what it ends up being is like you're just waiting for that scene.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And it
like 'cause
felt-
that's the part
I'm
3.
gonna
You
be
want
honest.
part 3, right?
Yeah.
This is what you want more than anything.
I'll be honest, even when I saw it in the theater, I really enjoyed it. I don't want anyone to think that I don't like Afterlife, because I actually do like it.
Yeah.
But even when I was watching that part, when it's got into all that at the end, I was like, wow, this is really just turning into like fan service for fan
Right.
service sake. And it feels disingenuous almost.
I like the idea of a little kid like becoming a Ghostbuster. And like, you know what I mean? Like that's a cool, cute idea for a kid's movie.
And it's very Spielbergian.
You know, they're making another Ghostbusters movie that's written again. It's written by Jason Reitman and his partner who wrote Afterlife.
Is it a sequel to Afterlife?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's in New York, and the shooting script of it is called Firehouse. So I really can't imagine what this is.
The same characters?
Yeah.
Maybe they moved to New.
Right, but it's like
it's weird.
But it's so weird.
Well, they moved from New York in this one, right?
I don't know where they are originally, but
I got the sense that they moved from New York.
Oh, maybe
to the country.
I don't know what this could be, because okay, it sounds on paper like this is going to be more like a Ghostbusters movie that you think of, but are these 4 kids actually going to be Ghostbusters? Like, how do you really do this? Yeah. Or do you have like they've set up like Winston is going to be like the Nick Fury in the Marvel world. Like Winston is this millionaire in the story now, and he's going to reopen it. Like he's going to make Ghostbuster franchise, and he's going to be the thing that ties it all together. But like, do you just have the kids from Afterlife as characters, but then you have 4 other grown-ups become professional Ghostbusters? Like, there's a 14-year-old girl go into business,
I don't know,
and be a ghost.
Weird.
Like, it's I don't understand how it can go. Like, I kind of like this. I like that you're going to see more of the characters, and they are older because the movie was done so long ago, and then it got pushed back like a billion years. So they are like older characters now, but it's like if you go back into the Firehouse and we go into like now we're going into business, like. In Afterlife, it's more symbolic they become Ghostbusters because there's 4 of them. They get on board. There's a problem to be solved, and they put on the suits.
Yeah.
They don't go into business. They don't become Ghostbusters. Can they do that in the new one?
I don't know.
Like how? Like I don't get it. I don't know where it goes. Really.
I'm actually disappointed to hear that they're making another one. I thought it ended fine.
Well. That shouldn't surprise you, though.
I mean, of course, it doesn't surprise me.
It's an intellectual property. It's one of the few ones that like Sony has. You know, they had.
They lost Spider-Man, right?
Right, like. Well, they co-produced Spider-Man, but it's like the only like really creative thing Sony does is like with the other Spider-Man characters like Morbius or fucking Venom.
Yeah, and who the hell cares?
Right. So it's like this is a franchise that they know has an audience that's like buys buys shit. So they every one of these things has been an attempt at the same thing. I mean, one thing that I do like is I think they are like expanding what it could be. Like there is an animated film coming out, which might be more like a part 3. Okay. I'd rather them do something like I don't want them to do the Marvel thing if everything has to be in canon now.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do different things, go ahead and do different things. I'd like to see because it's just a cool high concept. I'd like to see it done in different ways. There's a Ghostbusters kids book that came out, and it's like it tells a story, but as if they were like little kids.
That's cute.
And like it's very cute, and it's like this is a cute idea. Like I would want to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a cash cow.
Right. See, what sucks about the last 2 is like they both feel like trying to be starting points. They both feel like let's kickstart this thing again. And I would love to just see like a good filmmaker and a good writer just be like, let's do exactly what we want to do. Because that's the thing. The Ghostbusters is a weird idea, and that's what's interesting about it. Just go ahead and do it.
Right.
You know? Even Paul Feig's movie, as much as I like that it does its own thing, like it was trying to set up sequels.
Yeah, like it doesn't. Why does it have to be an origin? Like just start. Start with them being Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I've said this before in the podcast. I would love if they did the original script by Dan Aykroyd, where it's in the future and Ghostbusters is an actual job. And
that was his original idea for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, the original Ghostbusters script was 2 Ghostbusters that were going to be him and John Belushi, and it's the future, so it's the sci-fi world.
Okay.
And like Ghostbusters is like a normal job, but it's about these two particular Ghostbusters. Like fucking do that. Do any crazy shit.
That really evolved.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't his idea for 3 like Ghostbusters in hell?
Yes,
like they would like go to the other side.
They ended up doing that with the game. I mean, really, if you want a Ghostbusters 3, it's the game. The video game did that story, has the 4 originals in it, does the goes to hell story. The video game ties together the first and second movie as if like there's one bad guy behind both things.
That's interesting.
So it would have been an interesting trilogy ender.
Isn't there a comic where the 2016 Ghostbusters meet?
Well, there's like a multiverse comic where it's like them and the real Ghostbusters from the cartoon and like the extreme but there's also Ghostbusters also like met the Ninja Turtles and in comics everything happens. Yeah. It's so funny when I went to
that was actually the first female Ghostbuster, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kylie.
Yeah.
And also a Ghostbuster in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I remember that.
Who got screwed because they never made his figure.
What a... God.
Too much. I guess they felt like it's too much plastic.
Yeah.
Do we charge more? Are we getting in trouble for charging more? How do we do this correctly?
Assholes.
Yeah, no, it's funny. When I went to that Alamo event and they were showing all the stuff, when Extreme Ghostbusters came on the screen, people were like, woo! But it's like, you guys also gonna boo fucking 2016?
Yeah, it's so
like,
weird.
To me, the cool thing is, like, there's all of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's all cool. It's all weird sci-fi meets comedy and ghosts mashup. Like, I don't know. Just the weird consensus. Because it makes me feel like I want to get up and go, I want to publicly say that I am not agreeing with those who are booing now.
Yeah, I know.
I am a Ghostbusters fan, and it's good to be among you other Ghostbusters fans, but I want on the record that I disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why, you know, like, toxic fandom is a thing. You know, and it's hard because you do get lumped in. Like you said before, there are people who don't like it for legitimate reasons, who resent being lumped in with the misogynists. Yeah. You do, as I guess as a fan of anything, you kind of get lumped in with everyone else.
And you know what? I'm sure I would be lumped in with progressives, and obviously I'm progressive, but I don't fight for Ghostbusters 2016 because I think it's so fucking progressive. I think it's a good movie. I think it's funny. You know, I think there are non-progressive things about it, like the one African-American Ghostbuster being the non-scientist.
It's also a fucking movie about busting ghosts.
Yeah, that like, ends up being the really funny thing, which is like, well, you know, I guess this is the thing we can end on, which is maybe it was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, because 2 wasn't it either.
I liked 2 a lot, but I also liked it as a kid.
Because you were a child.
Yeah.
I mean, most adults like didn't like Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, they were
like,
oh, this
Ghostbusters
sucks.
1.
Maybe like, I know I'm contradicting what I just said about I want to see a million different versions of it because it's this high concept idea. I mean, I would like it, but no, I think they can. But I have different standards from other people. I think other people want something that it's like.
They can franchise it, but it's like people have this weird thing, and it's not just about Ghostbusters, it's about Star Wars, it's about everything, where it's like they want new content, but they want that new content to either be an exact copy of the original, or it's like then they'll criticize it for being too similar. If it's too similar, they'll criticize it if it changes characters.
It's almost like no way to win.
There is no way to win.
But the studios know that they're still going to make money, so it's like they take the critical. The bullshit because they know at least it's going to make money.
That's the thing with reboots and Lego sequels and stuff is like, even I just recently re-listened to our And Just Like That episode, and we were talking about how like people were like, oh, I can't believe they broke up Steve and Miranda. You know, I can't believe there's like new conflict. And it's like, well, then there shouldn't be a new show if you don't want there to be new conflict. Like conflict is at the center of story. Character development is at the center of story. You don't like that Luke is a different character now after 40 years have passed? Like, what do you mean? What then we don't have a movie.
It's so weird because it's an impossible question. It's an impossible answer. You want new but old. But if it's too,
but you don't want to be insulted by too much fan service, but you want just enough fan service.
It's like impossible. It's impossible to do. Like I just the as we're recording this, the trailer for the Super Mario Brothers, and some people are hating on it, some people are loving it. A lot of people are saying Chris Pratt's voice. I'm one of them. Chris Pratt's voice just feels wrong because if it looked more different, I'd buy it. But they made the look so much like the game that you expect him to sound like he does in the game. But look, there was an article in Gizmodo today which I'll be honest, I didn't read the whole thing. I skimmed through it, but it was based. It was I think the title was like, "What do we want from a Mario movie?" And that's the question you can ask all these things. What do you want from a Star Wars movie? Like, what do you want? Do you all want the same thing? And is it even possible?
Right.
What do you want from a Ghostbusters movie?
I think the worst thing that ever happened, not ever, but as far as this topic is concerned, it was a turning point, was Sonic's design being changed.
Yeah.
I think that set a precedent where fans now feel entitled.
Well, you could win. Your complaints could be listened
to win against creative decisions.
I would also put with that the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yes,
that was a big fan thing that the studio relented and actually released it and actually put more money into it to fucking put on HBO Max.
Yeah,
those are two examples of the outcry was listened to,
which sounds like a good thing. But it's led to this.
But it's not politics. We're not talking about like the right to vote. We're talking about the way Sonic fucking looks.
But it's led to this thing where like the fans are like, we're gonna, because Twitter is everything now. We're gonna drag this shit on Twitter so hard that they're gonna hear us. And I guess it's good, it's giving voice to. Yeah. Well, I would say it's good if it's really amplifying the voices of everyone, but I feel like it's just amplifying the voices of a few.
Yes.
Who
I agree.
hate everything.
Right.
So.
Or it's people that think they own it.
Yes.
Like, as much as I love Ghostbusters, I don't feel I own it. I don't feel like my opinion is more important. And, like...
Well, it's my childhood, so my opinion about it matters more than yours.
Actually, it was just a franchise I liked as a child.
Right,
my childhood was my parents.
Right,
and,
I know, it's crazy.
My school and my surroundings.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a corny thing to say, but like there were videos at the time and little girls running around with Ghostbusters toys that reminded me of being a kid running around with Ghostbusters toys and me thinking, what does my old ass... I'm supposed to like stop this kid? Like, good for her. Like, I as a real fan should love this, and I did love it. But someone who's like, who you want to stop that because it's not right?
I know. It's like all those adorable videos of like those little black children watching the Little Mermaid trailer.
Yeah. And
saying like, and they're not staged. You could tell they're genuine.
Right.
Where they're like delighted to see Ariel looks like them.
Right.
And it's like, like representation does matter. And like those little girls like didn't have a female Ghostbuster to look up to before that.
Right.
So it's
in fact the only women in the movie were
objectified and
or like just the secretary that they make fun of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this has been Ghostbusters 2016. Answer the call. Anthony, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me once again.
We end every episode by saying,
go bye-bye.